another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Hey, that's right. We never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. How's it going, everybody? I am attorney Michael Eline, and as many of you know, I am an attorney licensed in California and Texas. I primarily practice catastrophic injury law, but my background is in appellate law, civil rights, and I do some business litigation and things like that. And I used to think that Bitcoin is a scam and whatnot, but over time, I bought into the idea of a Bitcoin and a potential strategic Bitcoin reserve. And I was really hot on the idea of Donald Trump creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Made a ton of money on MSTY and MSTU when the markets went crazy thinking that he was going to do that. But then, much to my chagrin, he pulled back and wants to make it a cryptocurrency reserve, which sort of like lowers the value of Bitcoin in my mind and in the mind of many. But the big thing that really got me concerned about the strategic reserve is that it's going to be based on civil asset forfeited Bitcoin. So we know that the government unconstitutionally seizes people's property, including Bitcoin, on a regular basis. We'll get into that in a minute. And I've done a lot of videos about it. So today we're going to cover really quickly, why the market crashed for Bitcoin when Trump went ahead and changed the layout for how he wants to do it and where he's getting the money from. So originally the idea is that there would be a Bitcoin reserve, and it was an initiative proposed by President Trump, where they would create a national reserve of just Bitcoin only. And then it was changed just recently to Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. And so the big Bitcoin people, guys like Michael Saylor and stuff like that with MSTR, now it's called Strategy, they didn't like that. And so the markets were humming. Bitcoin was selling for over 100,000. I was making a ton of money selling MSTU, buying low and selling high. Like day trading, I was making $5-6 grand a day day trading. It was unbelievable. It was probably how the Germans felt during the happy times, right, guys? Crazy stuff. And then he went ahead and announced that he was going to have talk about this Bitcoin reserve, and that shot back up again. So, what happened is we know the Democrats, anything that Donald Trump likes, even if it's it's going to save the country, they'll be against it. Unfortunately, they wouldn't even stand for the family of that woman who was murdered by an illegal alien criminal that Joe Biden invited into this country. So anything that he likes, even if it could save the country, they're against. And obviously Bitcoin could save the country. We could actually have a strategic reserve of what they call digital gold. But the Democrats won't go for it because that would make Trump look good. And they're more concerned about making Trump look bad than they are about trying to save our country. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Anyways, I don't want to digress too far from this. The bottom line is, because we couldn't get congressional, we don't think that we'll get congressional approval. Maybe at midterms, if people get sick and tired of these people pushing for tampons in the men's room and trying to let men play in women's sports. I honestly don't know why anybody would vote for these people. They're absolutely lunatics. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. But if we can win at the midterms, there might be a chance to get Congress involved and do this right. But by executive order, he was limited in what he could do. His mistake, in my opinion, was to include Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. And so we're going to talk about that. And basically, the reserve is intended to elevate the digital asset sector and respond to previous regulatory challenges faced in the industry. The initiative marks a significant shift from a vague concept to a more defined strategy involving specific cryptocurrencies potentially purchased or held by the government for strategic purposes. So kind of like Fort Knox, but the problem that I have with it also is that it's going to be built from seized assets, and the problem that the cryptocurrency markets in general don't like is that the government has no plans to buy Bitcoin. And so that's a problem because that's not going to be a driver for the market. They're just going to use stuff that they stole from the American people in what I believe is an unconstitutional thing called civil asset forfeiture. And again, I've discussed that in other videos. So I'm going to quickly get through that, and then I'm going to get into Lane Meyer's battle with Direct Dildo and all the stuff that's going on with him and the threats that Direct Dildo has been making against Lane. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. So let me just take a look and see if anybody's joined me. Hey, what's going on, the Riddler? What's going on, John Toomey? I know, right? I want to be a girl. I know. Well, all you got to do is pretend like you're a girl and vote Democrat, and automatically you could be a girl too. And if you're a pervert, you could even hang out in the girls' room. And if anybody says anything about it, they can accuse you of being a racist, bigot, or a homophobe, and force you to have your daughter take showers with these weird dudes that want to wear dresses and come to Drag Queen Story Hour, right, guys? Do the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. And it wasn't even a thing until Sleepy Joe took office. Wasn't even a thing. And then all of a sudden, public school teachers, the Rainbow Flag Mafia, they're pushing for it. Now, it used to be that the gay rights community was against the Man-Boy Love Association and this drag queen stuff back in the 80s. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. And now it seems like it's being pushed hard in that community. And I feel bad for my friends who are in that community. And so you have a lot of gay people now who are going back in the closet because they don't want to be associated with men wearing dresses and men who want to hang out in the ladies' room, right? Those people, they feel belong in a mental institution. So that's a problem. But let's get into, that's right. Hey, Riddler. So I don't know if we're going to have a really big show today. Yeah, why can't I be like Caitlyn? Well, I don't know. You could chop off your unit and take a bunch of female hormones and still look like a guy and sound like a guy and pretend like you're a girl and live in a dysphoric universe. You can do that. Go for it, bro. Just don't try to tell my kids that it's normal, and don't try to force it on the public school kids. It's crazy. It's not right. It's something that parents need to be able to decide these things. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Now, with respect to the Bitcoin reserve, let's just really quick get into what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you just to give you an idea of what happened with the markets, because I lost, I'm about 50,000 down now because of this, because I had purchased a bunch of MSTY hoping the markets were going to go up after this announcement, as well as about 50 grand worth of MSTU. And I bought it at kind of a premium. And then, of course, the markets tanked, and I couldn't believe it. Like, what is this guy thinking? I mean, I'm kind of like, what the hell is going on, Trump? You know, what are you doing, bro? This doesn't make any sense, man. This does not sound anything like what you ran on. And the markets are getting scared. You know, they really are, because Bitcoin could have really been, it should be selling at well over 100,000 a coin right now. And now it's down to like 85, 86. So let's listen to what this lady has to say. And then after this, again, we're going to get into the Direct Dildo versus Lane Meyer's thing. Here we go.
Welcome back to Power Lunch. Bitcoin at about $88,000 right now. That's well off its post-election highs in hopes of the Trump administration would support cryptocurrencies. It's off the lows of earlier this week, too, though. A crypto summit is taking place at the White House this afternoon, and the president expected to speak later. But there is some disappointment that what might actually happen is short of what the crypto community was hoping for. Mackenzie Sagalos is here with us on set. She joins us now with more. Mackenzie.
Hey, Morgan. So investors were not impressed with the president's Bitcoin reserve order, despite it being a big win for the industry. Markets sold off on the news, with altcoins like Ether, Solana, and XRP leading losses overnight. Now, those tokens were recently promoted by Trump on Truth Social, but none are mentioned in the EO. Instead, it seems they're getting shuffled into a separate stockpile for orderly management. But the main concern here is that the order stops short of any immediate government Bitcoin buying strategy.
That's right.
Instead, the U.S. will only hold onto seized tokens, meaning that no taxpayer dollars are going toward new purchases. That is a letdown for investors who were hoping for real federal demand. Now, that said, we just heard from White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, who hinted at a possible Bitcoin buying plan only under budget neutral conditions. Take a listen.
If the Secretary of the Treasury or the Secretary of Commerce can come up with a budget neutral way to acquire more, then they are authorized. They don't have to, but they're authorized.
So the main problem is that the Democrats won't go along with it, even though it could probably save our country. because they just won't do anything that could potentially make Trump look good. So as a result, what's going on now is they're trying to find all these different ways to do it within the framework of an executive order. So that's the main reason. But in any event, it makes Trump look bad, and that's what the Democrats want. So let's keep going.
Authorize to develop those strategies.
Now, all eyes are on the first ever White House crypto summit, where Trump is set to speak shortly to a room filled with industry heavyweights, including Brian Armstrong, Vlad Tenev, and Michael Saylor. Some are pushing for stablecoin policy, while others see crypto's future in tokenizing private markets and putting trillions in equity on chain.
My only question about tokenizing private markets is, what is tokenizing private markets? What does that mean?
Well, this is actually something that Vlad Tenev has been pushing for quite a while now, because there is an appetite with Robinhood's customers, which essentially is everyday customers, because of SEC rules limiting private markets to accredited investors. They can't get exposure to a SpaceX or to a Stripe, for example. And so by putting that on chain, which would require some sort of congressional adjustment, something in a market infrastructure bill, they would finally be able to get that, democratize the private markets.
Very quickly, do we know how many seized tokens the U.S. has or has been seizing?
It's funny that you asked that, because David Sachs mentioned the fact that we need to do some due diligence, some accounting. And so the estimate is 200,000 tokens, which would put it at roughly $17 billion. But one of the top priorities of this working...
You know who Ross Ulbricht was? No, I'm serious. Silk Road, he's in prison, he's being pardoned. Yeah. Like, where's that money? Where's all... Ross Ulbricht would be like one of the... I mean, I'm not justifying what he did. Silk Road, selling drugs, guns, weapons. You could buy a bazooka. But that's like hundreds of billions of Bitcoin, I think, nowadays.
And the U.S. government did seize a large stash of Bitcoin from Silk Road, which they have since liquidated.
Okay.
And part of the argument of this administration is, why didn't we hold on to it? Because it's appreciated in value. We've lost billions of dollars because of premature sales.
All right. So just give me 1 second here. So the bottom line is that because we know the Democrats won't support anything that will help Trump is sort of limited in what he can do with this Bitcoin reserve. However, most of the experts say his mistake is bringing in all these other weird coins. It should have just been Bitcoin. So he changed it to like a crypto reserve. And because of that, the market tanked. I mean, well, maybe not. I mean, a lot of people thought it was going to fall to 70 and sort of reconstituted around 70. And so it's been hovering pretty consistently around 85 average, since this has all been going down. So at least it didn't tank to 70. Many experts are saying that now Bitcoin's in a bear market, which is kind of shitty, right? So we'll see what happens. But, a lot of people are selling and they just aren't going for it. They're scared now. And so there's a major sell-off of Bitcoin. People are freaking out. Obviously, this is the time you want to buy at the dip. One thing I know about Bitcoin is it always goes up. We also know that England, all of a sudden, when Trump said he wants to audit Fort Knox, all of a sudden, England doesn't have any gold. And many people are saying that it's being flown back to the United States because all the gold was stolen from the Federal Reserve, by the Federal Reserve, the banksters, years ago, and now they're trying to rush and make sure there's some gold there, and because obviously they stole it. That's what a lot of people say. So if it turns out that a substantial amount of the gold is missing from Fort Knox, Bitcoin's probably going to go up to $200,000 to $300,000 a coin pretty quickly. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. So there's still a chance for us Bitcoiners and us cryptocurrency guys to profit handily. And we know that a lot of the, the Democrat regulations, how they like to over-regulate everything, get all their political operatives at the IRS and stuff like that to destroy people who don't vote Democrat. We know that Obama weaponized the IRS, and I've never met an IRS agent who's not a flaming leftist. Give me a bunch of ones if you've ever met an IRS agent who's not a hardcore left-wing Marxist. I haven't met one yet. We certainly know that anybody who has a business they look at as the enemy of the people and a piggy bank for them and their bureaucratic agencies. So at least we know that Trump is getting rid of all that dead weight at the IRS, and maybe there's a way we can get rid of the income tax altogether, which is a Marxist idea. I mean, in my opinion, the government has no right to know how much money you or I make. Their job is to allow us to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. We never had an income tax. Our country was based on tariffs. And the states can have their own taxes and whatnot, but income tax, taxing someone's income, totally ridiculous. The payroll tax was only supposed to be to raise money for World War II, and it's continued on. Every time they create a tax and they say it's only going to happen for a little while, it never ends. Needs to go away, and Bitcoin could be a way to do that. So I definitely like the idea, but here's the catch. The problem is he's literally taking money that was seized, in my opinion, unconstitutionally. I think that civil asset forfeiture is the enemy of the American people. The fact that we have this carryover from common law England, maritime law, is absurd. And I've done a lot of videos on it. I invite you to type in Michael E. Line civil asset forfeiture and watch my videos where I go into the history of civil asset forfeiture. But what I'm going to do next is just show you a quick video of what Forbes has to say. And look, Steve Forbes, I'm not a real fan of Steve. Some of the stuff he says is pretty cool. Definitely didn't like his dad, Malcolm. But let's listen to what he's got to say about civil asset forfeiture, because I agree with him on this. That's one thing you're going to find about me, guys, is that I'm not like a Democrat, right? I don't believe that you have to 100% support everything that a political party supports in order to be a good person. I believe that both parties have some good ideas. I can't think of any good ideas that the Democrats have lately. I mean, putting tampon machines in the boys' room and letting weird adult dudes dressed like women do drag queen story hour at public libraries. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm trying to think of something that they've done, endless wars, laundering schemes, money laundering schemes so they can get money to their friends in the defense industry and big pharma. I still can't think of anything, but if you can think of something that they've done or an idea they have that's actually good, let me know. But in the meantime, I think that, again, with Trump, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he's going to use civil asset forfeiture should be overturned. And anyways, let's listen to what Steve has to say, and then we'll get into Lane Myers and the double dildo stuff. Let's go.
Can government seize your house, your car, and your cash, even if you've done nothing wrong? The shocking answer is yes, and it happens more than we think. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. There is a pernicious procedure called civil asset forfeiture that allows law enforcement to confiscate and keep your property without due process. That is, take, say, your money, even if you haven't been charged, much less convicted of a crime.
That's right.
That's right. No charges have to be filed. Officers can just declare they suspect the property in question was used in the commission of a crime.
That's it.
Or was obtained illegally. They don't have to prove there's...
All they have to do is suspect it. And of course, two-tier Keir and the British love stuff like that, because I believe that the modern day British Parliament is composed of a bunch of far left Marxist traitors to their own people, flooding their country with jihadists. And of course, this concept of civil asset forfeiture comes from the United Kingdom. But interestingly enough, they've actually done away to a large degree with civil asset forfeiture. But the United States, allegedly this constitutional republic, still has it going in full effect. And police departments get rich off of it. The FBI gets rich off of it, get new cruisers, new patrol cars, new equipment from seizing your property unconstitutionally without any due process. And they get away with it. So what Steve Forbes is talking about is right on the money. Let's keep listening.
suspicions to seize it. Then incredibly, you must prove the property is clean.
That's right.
Recovering the assets that were seized from you is laborious and expensive. The typical amount of money taken is under $2,000, in many cases, just a few $100s. The expense of recovering it often exceeds what was seized. Real property, like a car or house, is often sold at auction. It all adds up, however. In the past 20 years, the value of property and cash that has been confiscated by civil asset forfeitures totals over $68 billion.
Crazy.
A number of state and local
More
law
than that.
enforcement agencies count on proceeds from civil asset forfeiture.
It's far more than that. The Bitcoin that was illegally, in my opinion, confiscated that Trump is using for the Bitcoin reserve is worth, $200 billion or something. Insane amounts of money. Anyways, let's keep going.
To buttress their budgets. You can easily see how perverse this incentive
Randy,
is
good seeing you,
for
man.
abuses. The Institute for Justice, a nonprofit organization that provides legal help to victims of civil liberty injustices, won cases in federal court against Albuquerque and Philadelphia for that kind of law enforcement wrongdoing. The Institute has been battling civil asset forfeiture abuses for years. It has issued a report on the subject called Policing for Profit. One example among all too many. Last February, Stephen Lara, an ex-Marine, was driving to Texas to visit his daughters in California. When he was
No such thing as an ex-Marine. He was an inactive U.S. Marine combat vet with PTSD, and he had a large sum of cash because he doesn't trust the government, like most Marines and vets don't trust the government. And his money was illegally stolen from him by these scumbag cops out in Vegas or Nevada. And it was unbelievable what happened to him. I did a video about this. In fact, maybe I'll play it for you. Let's just keep listening to Steve. I'll try to dig it up.
Pulled over by police for allegedly improperly passing a truck. He let officers search his car. He had his lifetime savings in a backpack. The cops seized it, even though he had bank receipts for the withdrawals. They found no drugs and never charged him with the crime. Only when he went to the Washington Post with the story was the money returned.
That's right.
To get back your money or car or house can be made even more complicated by a practice whereby local officers turn the seized assets over to the federal government, which will then handle all the paperwork and give the local department a certain percentage of the value of what was given. In other words, a kickback. This process has been grossly abused and should be promptly, without qualification, ruled absolutely unconstitutional as soon as an appropriate case reaches the Supreme Court. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions.
Yeah, so you kind of got the idea, right? So the idea is that the police, without any due process, can just say, hey, you have a large sum of cash and we're going to bring out a drug sniffing dog. And if they smell drug residue, they'll say, oh, we think that you're part of a drug cartel or something. And they'll take your cash without any due process. And good luck getting your cash back. The vast majority of it you never get back. The money that you'd have to spend on a lawyer, it's almost like all the money would be eaten up that you can get back. And finding a lawyer to even do it, unless you pay the lawyer $300-400 an hour, it's not going to happen. So they just steal people's money left and right. And that's what's become of our country, unfortunately. And at least this one Marine was able to, finally get some of his money back. But now what I want you to understand is if he had had some Bitcoin on him, like his little Bitcoin thing, and the police knew what it was, if they're intelligent enough to recognize that, they could have seized that as well. And that could have had $1 million of Bitcoin on it. Or it could have had, what amounted to $100 of Bitcoin 20 years ago that's now worth 100,000, right? Or whatever. It's because it's gone up in so much value. But I want you to watch really quickly this Marine veteran video. It's like 4 minutes, and then we'll get into the Lane Myers and direct dildo problem that's going on with direct D dildo. But anyways, let's really quick. Let's go ahead and watch this bad chicken. Here we go.
It sounds like the opening of the Netflix hit movie Rebel Ridge, but it happened in real life, and the consequences are still playing out in the Nevada courts. On February 19th, 2021, retired Marine Stephen Lara was making the 1,400-mile drive from Lubbock, Texas, to Portola, a small California town near Reno, Nevada, where his teenage daughters lived with his ex-wife. Early in the COVID-19 pandemic, Lara, now 42 years old, was laid off from his hospital systems administrator job in California and moved in with his parents in Lubbock to save money and to save up for a house. Lara had driven this 4-day round trip dozens of times, and it had become almost routine. This time, however, he was pulled over by the Nevada Highway Patrol on I-80 near Sparks, Nevada, about an hour from Reno, ostensibly for following and passing a tanker truck too closely. He wasn't issued a traffic ticket or warning, let alone arrested or charged with a crime. Yet the 90-minute encounter ended with the officers seizing Lara's life savings, some $86,900 in cash he had in a Ziploc bag, and sending the money to the Federal Drug Enforcement Agency for potential, quote, civil forfeiture. What that means is that despite the fact Lara was not charged with a crime, the feds could legally keep his money, kicking back $69,520 of it to the Nevada Highway Patrol as a sort of finder's fee.
Yep.
More than 6 months later,
Total scam.
Lara got his cash back, but only after the Institute for Justice, or IJ, a libertarian not-for-profit law firm, sued the DEA on his behalf. Now, with IJ still representing him pro bono, he's asking Nevada courts to rule that the state's constitution, which protects property rights, bars the Nevada Highway Patrol from participating in the, quote, equitable sharing civil forfeiture program run by the feds. Something almost all states now.
So you guys get that, right? Equitable sharing. So it's a total racket. Like the local cops, maybe the department's suffering because, Uber and Lyft have really reduced drastically the revenue they can generate from DUIs, right? So now they've got to find other ways to steal your money, right? So they can do what's called equitable sharing, where the Nevada Highway Patrol will just send all your shit over to the U.S. Attorney General, and the U.S. Attorney General will then give a portion of it back to the Nevada Highway Patrol. And those cops get promoted. They get the brand new cruiser. They get the money to make their buildings nicer. Well, people like this Marine or you could have had your little Bitcoin stick with you and had that seized. And that's what Trump is building the strategic Bitcoin reserve off of. That's scary to me, especially if they really want to build it a lot. Now, like when a Democrat gets into power, right, like an Obama or a Biden, they could use the IRS and all these other anti-American agencies to target Bitcoin traders, right? Because they're like Marxists, and their philosophy is the Bolshevik philosophy of show me the man and I'll show you the crime. So now that Trump has put this Bitcoin reserve in place, when a Democrat gets into power and their left-wing Democrat agencies, their ABC agencies that are 99% Democrat, will likely use those agencies to try and go after Bitcoiners and seize their Bitcoin so they can build the reserve and get a kickback to their agency. And so basically he's creating a Leviathan, guys, and I'm very, very scared about what's going on. Let's keep watching this video, though. It's only a few more minutes.
I'll do. Earlier this year, Lara won a preliminary round in his Nevada case when a trial judge rejected the Highway Patrol's motion to dismiss the lawsuit. The trial is scheduled for next June. If he ultimately wins, it could set an important precedent and inspire legal challenges in other states. From 2000 to 2019, by IJ's count, the feds sent a whopping $8.8 billion in civil forfeiture payments to state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies that had seized assets under the joint program. During Lara's traffic stop, the officer asked if Lara had any firearms, explosives, or drugs in the car, and he answered truthfully that he did not. The officer asked whether he had large amounts of cash, and Lara said he did.
Right. So he did, because he's a dumb Marine. And look, I'm a Marine, so I get it. All right. I'm not putting him down, but he's trying to be honest. He doesn't know that these scumbag cops have an ulterior motive. They're trying to find ways to enrich themselves in their department and get bonuses, right? Get promotions. So, so that's basically what happened. He didn't reserve his right to remain silent on whether or not he had large amounts of cash, and they stole it from him.
Explaining that he didn't trust banks. Because of his distrust of banks, Lara had kept his savings in cash for as long as he can remember.
Hey, Rami, good seeing you.
That's not as unusual as it sounds. Based on a 2021 national survey, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, estimates that 14% of U.S. households were, quote, underbanked, meaning they have at least one household bank account but use alternatives.
Yep. Like
and another 4.5% were unbanked, with no bank accounts at all. Significantly, both the unbanked and underbanked rates are much higher at all income levels for those who are Black or, like Lara, Latino.
Yeah, that's true.
In the FDIC survey, the unbanked cited distrust of banks as the second most common reason they shun conventional accounts, second only to bank fees. Under the civil forfeiture law, the government can seize and keep your property if it merely suspects the property is connected to a crime.
Suspects.
The kicker? Often, the government doesn't have to offer any proof, nor does the property owner have to be charged with the crime for the government to seize the property. This differs from criminal forfeiture, where property is generally turned over to the government after a conviction.
Yes, due process.
For full coverage, check out Kelly Phillips Erb's piece on Forbes.com.
Yeah, so this was a really, the actual video of the guy with the body cam footage is unbelievable. I don't really have a lot of time because I really want to dig into the Lane Meyer thing. And guys, by the way, I really apologize for not going live as much. As you guys know, I have a really bad herniated disc. from when I was in the Marine Corps, which now is full blown to where I have like my left leg drags. I don't know if you notice, I was trying to teach my son some skateboarding lessons, and I tried to do a couple tricks to kind of like show you guys, do a demonstration, and it just, guys, I'm in so much pain from that. Oh my God, it's just atrocious. But what am I supposed to do? I got a son, and I'm trying to teach him how to be cool. Hey, you got to know how to skate, man. If you want to get the cool chicks, you got to look like a skater and got to surf and skate and do all the cool stuff, man. Right, guys? Give me a bunch of ones. Okay. Anyways, really quick. Hey, Rami, good seeing you, brother. I do need to reach out to you. I'm working on a rough draft of the municipal corporation thing that you and I discussed a long time ago. And yes, you're right, Rami. DMSO is good, and I know, but I have a full-on disc herniation, so I need a little more. I need, probably some stem cell therapy as well. So we're looking into that. Bit, you don't look cool, brother. Okay, David. I don't know what that bit means. Like Bitcoin? And then Canon 0311. I just got motivated right now. There, you. But if you're a Canon, that means you're an artilleryman, doesn't it? Are you an 08? Are you an 0848? What is your major malfunction? Private 0311. Just Willie, good seeing you. OTCAF, give me a bunch of OTCAFs before we move on, guys. Overturn civil asset forfeiture, OTCAF. That's definitely something I'm working on. And I've reached out to several nonprofits, and I'm going to be working pro bono to help people who have had their assets seized. And again, this show, the first part, is about how Trump is creating this strategic Bitcoin crypto reserve based on seized crypto that was seized in civil asset forfeiture cases, which I think is terrible. I mean, if he really believes in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, he should be trying to get civil asset forfeiture laws overturned. And now what's going to happen is we're going to have these leftist organizations like the IRS, ATF, and these other people trying to seize cryptocurrencies, and because they'll get a kickback. They'll get a kickback based on what they seized. It's just unbelievable what's going on, guys. Unbelievable. Brandy Swaney, super happy to see you. The Riddler. Prince Krioka says, only if there is a crime, you're lying. This is another one of these people who has no idea what they're talking about. So civil asset forfeiture has nothing to do with the crime. All it is it's an ancient English common law concept that I can't remember the exact Latin word, but it's in one of my other videos. And all it is if the police merely suspect you of dealing drugs, or a police dog sniffs on some money that you have and he alerts on it, they can seize your cash. And that's what they do. And it's not lying. It's just a fact. The problem is idiots like Prince Kriakos don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing law for over 20 years. And before that, I was a paralegal. I have vast experience in criminal and civil rights law. And I invite this moron to come on and debate me anytime. But in the meantime, civil asset forfeiture is real, and it absolutely denies you due process. And it's almost impossible to get your money back. And I'm really, really scared about this idea of a crypto reserve based upon money or Bitcoin that was seized civilly with no due process rights. And I'm very, very concerned about that. I think it was a bad move. I think that what should happen is at midterms, they should throw out all these people that want tampon machines in the boys' room and get some people in there that will vote in a proper Bitcoin reserve that's not connected to the Federal Reserve System, and use that as a basis to get rid of these private bankers that are illegally, in my opinion, and unconstitutionally controlling our country with fiat currency. And at least with Bitcoin, it would be almost like a gold reserve, but based on a digital currency that has at least some form of intrinsic value. Our dollar has no intrinsic value. It's fiat currency. It's a printing machine. It's ridiculous. The value is based on its perceived value, whereas Bitcoin value is based upon its actual value. Give me a bunch of ones if you understand the difference. If you don't, you probably went to public school. So I'm sorry for you. But let me see here. Westman 78 says they don't even need to suspect anything. They just need to say that they do. That's right. That's all civil asset forfeiture is. It's terrible. And Howard Clegg, yes, dude, right on, man. Good seeing you. Jody Shiloh, all right on. Good seeing you, ma'am. Okay, so let's now we're gonna get into. I don't even want to do this next video. It's just it was more of a stock trading video that I found. I know a lot of you guys aren't into trading stocks. I just like following stuff like that that's connected to civil asset forfeiture and the Bitcoin stuff because it's interesting to me, and I've made an enormous amount of money off of trading Bitcoin and MSTY dividends. My MSTY dividends right now in one of my trading accounts are up to like, I don't know, almost 30,000 a month. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So you literally can pay back all your shares in about a year, right? Or actually, and some. And so anyways, MSTY I think is a great investment. It's one of the highest yielding ETFs out there. And then for day trading, I do the MSTU. So I'll buy at the dip, and then I could buy 1,000, 2,000 shares of MSTU for 3,000 at the beginning of the trading day, and then sell it for 4,000 and make $1,000. So that's another way you guys can make some extra money. I'm not giving you stock advice. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you what I do. But anyways, let's get into Lane Myers now and see what's going on with direct drama. He calls him direct drama. I call him direct dildo. He hates Chile DeCastro and was so happy that Chile DeCastro got arrested falsely and was jailed falsely. And people that wish false imprisonment upon people they don't like, in my opinion, are the lowest form of whale shit on the planet. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. I don't care if I don't like you or not. Anytime the government is used as a weapon, like they used it against Trump to try to prevent him from running, now that could be used against them. And it creates a battle zone. It's the old style, Soviet style, KGB style, using the courts and the justice system to target your political enemies. And it's really, really bad. So that's why I don't like direct drama, or I call them double dildo or direct dildo. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out this video and let's see what Lane Myers has to say. Now, I think Lane is actually live right now with this, but he does these 2-3 hour videos, so I probably won't be able to cover the whole thing, but at least I want to kind of fill you in on what's going on. All right, so here we go. Let's do it. So as you can see, this
Try not to laugh out loud.
U.S. District Court of Arizona versus Christopher Ruff. I think that's direct dildo. So let's take a look here. Lane's just kind of.
That's what I need you to do.
So it looks like he filed pro per.
I'm about to teach you.
So let's listen to what Lane has to say, guys. I like Lane. I think he's a cool guy.
If I don't have better things to do. Actually, I don't, because this guy's becoming. It's one of those things where it's like, you just deal with it and get it over with. So watch this.
I'll drop the link too for you guys.
Everybody said, is looking for direct D. And if they could just find them.
Direct meth.
Direct D is displaying traits of somebody who is spiraling out of rational reasoning.
Spiraled long ago, buddy.
And so, yes, this chat, you can talk about direct D in the chat as much as you want. Hey, and so, does anybody know if his girlfriend is a American citizen or not? Can you let me know in the chat? The mother of his kids, is she an American citizen? Don't say her name or nothing. I just want to know. She's an American citizen. Her name doesn't matter. I already know her name. I just was wondering if she's an American citizen. So I heard ICE was looking for anybody that was not an American citizen.
So the So the backstory is that Direct Meth has been threatening Lane, and I guess what I heard is that Direct Meth is upset because he thinks that he made Lane Myers famous, and he wants the credit. And so Direct Meth doesn't like me because he hates lawyers and he calls me a fake lawyer and stuff like that. And so it's just really weird. I don't want to get into the immature game playing with this guy, but definitely there's something going on between him and Lane. And apparently they were friends at one point, and now there's been a falling out. And I don't think that Lane Myers, honestly, I don't think he likes being threatened, especially by a felon who allegedly has warrants out for his arrest. And I think that Lane is doing the only thing that makes sense, which is to try and protect himself as best as he can. Now, Lane is, from what I know, is also a felon. And so I believe that he does not have the right to keep and bear arms. So he doesn't really have a lot of choices as far as how he's going to defend himself against a deranged psychopath who seems like he's completely drugged out of his mind. So let's keep listening to what Lane has to say.
I don't own this song. I just like to listen to it.
And
So I don't want to get into playing music.
Oh, look at that comment. This song will have a special meaning. That's hilarious.
I don't want to get into
One thing you can always rely on is the
playing
YouTube
music.
comments.
Yeah, that'll definitely cause trouble.
Vietnamese, but it sounds like pho.
I don't want to get
Sounds like
accused
he
of
might eat pho, and
stealing someone's
so,
copyright.
like,
Yeah.
I worked with some of them, and they usually bring it in, and we'd smash it. Hey, so if anybody can get bow around into this chat or me a phone call or somehow I need to get on. I'd like to speak to Bow about the whole, whatever it is. Let me check the chat here, make sure everybody's getting wild. Like I hope so. This is bow rhymes with cow. Okay, bow. All right, cool. Bow.
So he's
like
looking
the bow
up,
of the
I guess,
boat. All right, cool.
the defendant in
Tell
this case.
Bow, call in.
Yeah.
We got questions.
So
Tell Bow if he's not so scared that he's never going to be.
So it sounds like Direct Meth sued this guy Bao in federal court. Does anybody know if Direct Meth has ever won a lawsuit? I'd like to know. Let's keep going.
Seen again for this fake lawsuit that ChatGPT wrote against him. However, I want to let Bow know. Bow know. I have this thing that I keep wanting to call him Bo, but no, Bow.
I agree with you, Westman. Absolutely. If you served your sentence, you should not have your Second Amendment stripped from you. It's absurd.
Hey, but Bow, if you're scared, I want to encourage you to feel safe. Everything's gonna be all right, man. I know it can be intimidating when ChatGPT, you know what I mean? But let me tell you, man, listen, I'm here for you. Bow. Get a hold of me, man. I want to know I want to do a wellness check, man, and I want to talk legal strategy. And I'm serious. Once you're, you know what I mean, fucking feeling comfortable, once your breathing and shit gets back to normal and you eat a little pho and get your good, you know what I mean?
This dude is the best, man. Give me a bunch of ones for Lane.
You know what I'm saying? It's not communism, it's Confucianism. That's what people don't understand. But get a hold of me, Bow.
Oh shit.
Where's Bow? How do I get a hold of Bow? Somebody get me a hold. So that's the thing. How do I get a hold? Nope, nobody report anybody. We leave the reporting up to the reporter.
Yeah. Hey, give me a bunch of ones
Remember now.
for Lane's
Let's make our notepad. Today's videos are going to be about how to, if you felt harassed, defamed, you know, your business interests have been harmed or anything by Christopher Ruff LLC. This is a video how you can, so this video is going to be about, right now, I'm starting a contest. All right. So I want everybody to, is everybody gathered around? Gathered around. Listen, I would love to talk. I did,
he's the best.
if somebody can get me in touch with Bao, I would love to talk to him.
So basically, it
So,
looks
you know,
like Direct Meth wrote his lawsuit using Chat GPT. That's what
I don't know all the backstories and ins and intricacies. That my investigation in this starts right now. And so right now we're going to start a contest. Everybody loves a contest, right? Defaulting drama. We're going to call this documentary Defaulting Drama. Okay?
Defaulting drama.
So, Bao, I mean, yesterday's live stream got taken down because I gave out my own phone number and DirectD reported it. I mean, he said he reported it. I don't know who reported it. But, you know, Defaulting Direct Drama definitely claims, he lays claim to doing it. Look.
Love those glasses, man.
I mean,
Determinator.
I love using people's own words against them, right? So remember, this video is going to show you how to do some. I'd love to see this answer. He was waiting for someone to ask that. I think the more important question is how are you going to get into a federal court that requires a real ID? And I don't mean a real identification. I mean something called a real, and you got to give it to them. You can't go in there with warrants. So a better question is, but we'll get to that. We don't want it. Let's stay on topic here. Look at all these people defaming Bao. Look at all these people defaming Bao. Man. So Lane Myers 2980 asked, how are you going to sue someone without showing up to court? So let's let him tell us in his own words. I got owned and committed crimes. By the way, you can't protest at a judge's house. Okay. We'll get to that in a different video, but all right. Have I figured out what that is? Look at that. 3 quick ones. Bang, 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 bang. This guy. And what makes you think I won't show up for court? Let's put it in his own words. Remember now, misdemeanor bench warrants for failure to appear, not arrest warrants. No one is looking for me. If I happen upon a police officer, they are not required to enforce a bench warrant for another county, sweetheart. Could they? Sure. That requires the county I'm in to cooperate with an extradition transfer. This is not likely. I've been through all this already, bud. Why do you think I've gone over a year without getting arrested? Do you really think I don't leave my property? I know it's fun to joke, but be real. I haven't left in over a year. Okay, I've been to Colorado and New Mexico several times, most recently. Oh, so you went out of state because you live close to their borders. Oh, so, okay, but we'll get to that. What makes you think I won't show up? All right. You can't enter a federal court without a real ID and no warrants. You should probably do your research before you post these fake lawsuits for attention because you're going to end up with actual notice to appear. You are a clown. You prove it over and over. You're going to be in my live when I review your epic meltdown today. Thankfully, it's not entirely gone, just for you. Sounds like he had it. That could lead a reasonable person of average intelligence to believe he may had something to do with taking it down.
Yeah.
So I said, since you're allowed to leave the house, we should set up a celebrity boxing match where you put your mouth where your mouth is. I know you don't have any money to lose.
Oh,
he responds, you'd have to be a celebrity first, clown. Neither of us fit that description. Spin harder for me, baby girl. So let's start there. So Ruff admits that he's harassing non-public people. Because remember, like Kim Kardashian, although she's not a public employee, her status is so high that she's considered a public. Like her, we could get into the legal nuances, but
so it's more difficult for a public figure to sue you for defamation. But you can also be a public figure if you've voluntarily thrust yourself into the public light. And in this case, Lane Meyer probably would be considered a public figure because he has voluntarily thrust himself into the public light. But what I do notice about a lot of the comments by Direct Dildo is that they seem to be, it looks like they were generated by ChatGPT. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with that. Let's keep going.
For lack of a, listen, you can be a public figure without being a public employee, okay? And I threw that out there like, oh, so let's see. So he says Lane Myers is not a celebrity. Well, I mean, it depends who you ask, right? But according to the person whose name is on the paperwork, because that's what matters, the statements of the person, he says, so if he's not a celebrity, so you're harassing a private citizen. Okay. And he says, for his purposes, he's not a celebrity. So you know what that means? That he's not a public figure. His words, right? Now keep this in mind for later, kids. Oops, I don't know what I typed here. Chris Ruff is not a celebrity. He said, Chris Ruff is not a celebrity. That means.
Hey, Ant, good seeing you, man.
Okay, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, all right? Remember, this is all right now. Okay, so let's start with his first little comment. We got to gather all this before he deletes it. So then he goes into, you got a strike today. 3 strikes and you're out. Channel deleted. Be careful. Non-monetized channels don't get strikes, but thanks for admitting you reported my video that I already have saved. Cool story, bro. You're barking up the right tree. Are you kidding me? You can absolutely get a strike on your channel. They're called community guideline violations. You got one for harassment and bullying. Well, you should know that a community guideline violation is not a strike. So anyways, you may have gotten lucky and only gotten a warning though. And then a couple hours later, he's like, yeah, that wasn't me either, by the way. He had to get ahead of that narrative. I'd happily admit whenever I complain to YouTube, but it wasn't me. I've only reported privacy issues and didn't you know that I was a tree climber prior to YouTube, bud? I'm glad you identify as a tree. Again, he didn't get the joke because Chris, do you know why my channel got taken or my video got taken down? You said it was for harassment and bullying, right? And then you said it wasn't you because you only do privacy strikes. Okay, you only do privacy strikes? Privacy complaints, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I want to show my how do you screenshot an email?
Kind of weird.
Watch this. Give me a second. I thought I screenshotted the email from YouTube telling me it was removed. Watch. Hey, now remember, he said he only does privacy complaints, but it wasn't him. Oh, shit. Fuck. Drop my phone.
Yeah, I kind of knew when there was an association between these two guys, it wouldn't go well.
He doesn't,
In my opinion, I think Lane's a cool dude. I don't think that he has any spiteful energy in his body. I think that he is actually a pretty caring, cool guy that cares about the Constitution. He doesn't have the same kind of an ego as this direct meth guy. This guy really seems to just be a full-on narcissist, prima donna. Yeah.
he said he doesn't do. That's funny. Because it got removed for somebody reporting that I gave out my own phone number. Privacy. He said, oh, it was harassment and bullying. No, it wasn't. It was privacy. Okay. You said I gave out my own phone number at 19 minutes. Okay. And guess how we know? Because I have the video recorded, dude. What are you, slow today or what? I think I don't have my own video recorded. Do you not understand this? Do you not realize that I don't, what do you, bro? You're making statements you're going to have to back up in court because you're interfering with my work. Because remember, Chris Ruff is, we're going to get into it one step at a time. She's like, oh, you got it taken down for harassment and bullying, but it wasn't me because I only do privacy. You actually was taken down for privacy and you admitted it already, bro. What are you doing? Or you at least alluded to it. So, I mean, okay. This guy says that he made me. All right, cool. So let's see. So we got all that on here now recorded. Let's see. Let's go back. And then let's go to the post with. Then he made a post about me, a stupid person pretending to be smart, it looks like. Let's see. And then right here, this is what really was funny. This guy asked Direct D, you sound jealous. How many cases has he won on his own? How many have you won? The dude literally says he hasn't won anything. He been to trial. Bro, getting the case dismissed before trial is a lawyer's wet dream. So what, you got to win at trial? Dude, that's
that is true.
Winning at trial is a lawyer's worst nightmare. What are you talking about, dude? Getting the case dismissed without trial, that's literally.
Yeah, and I join in that sentiment. I try and get my cases against my clients knocked out with pretrial motions. And when I bring a case, I try to move for summary adjudication on the issues to try to basically win the case on the pleadings. But, based upon this dude's mentality, the way that he behaves, the way that he dismisses people who he doesn't like, calls them stupid and stuff, that tells me that he probably doesn't have somebody like me to mentor him, to teach him how to actually practice law or what a victory really is. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree.
What you pay lawyers a lot of money for. Anything can happen. But anyway, sounds like he lost today, moron. I've been arrested in Arizona 20 plus times and beat every case but a felony. Are you simple? So is he lying then on the GoFundMe that says I have all these cases that I need to get? Because he said he's never lost a case. So why would he need a GoFundMe for his legal cases that he's never, there shouldn't, if he's, wait, huh?
So in other words, is this a fraudulent fundraiser?
Straight.
Is this a deceptive fundraising account?
Unjust charges. He needs all this. All right.
Is he violating RICO laws?
Let me go here and it says, I've been arrested and beat every case but a felony. Are you simple? Okay. So Alina Lopez, I don't know who that is, but it says fundraiser.
Well, if there's active warrants, clearly he hasn't beat every case. So that's not a true statement then.
Okay, that must be the person that started or something. And so it says it's on here for his charges, right? But then right here he said he beat all his charges. And then the other day on one of my live streams, didn't we literally watch a video?
Do they have to establish a physical barrier?
Man, as soon as I hear his name, I fucking but where's it at? Where's that video where he 4 charges or something where he said, "Oh, I have warrants in a in a storage container because these 4 charges or something." What is he? Said he had the thing that led. What channel was that on? Direct D's channel? What is it? It's all the same. It's Christopher Ruff LLC. You can just Google it. And he claims it's Christopher Ruff LLC. Let's cover that too before it disappears. I'm sure Bao has a copy of it. Oh, right here saying this right here, this guy, Christopher Ruff, and I'm pretty sure Dale Hess is one of my shareholders. And so this guy's accusing him of, crimes of moral so it's like right there, bro. All right, this guy could easily follow this video and put something and do what I'm about to show. Because I don't think ChatGPT, this just shows, like, I know somebody with ChatGPT, shout out, he knows who I am. It's like, if it's me against ChatGPT, I'm going to win every time.
Every time. Yeah.
So far, anyways.
Those lawsuits that
Like,
ChatGPT does are stupid.
it's like calculators. When I was younger, they would like,
Yeah.
we would go to class and they'd be like, the calculator, I would beat the calculator. But anyways, it's not about me right now. And so
Hey, Mr. Gold, good
I
seeing
can't
you.
figure out if he beat all his charges. If he
Guys, give me a bunch of ones from Mr. Gold. He's a friend of Team MPE, and he's friends with Reluctant Prophet and Lane Myers. Really super good guy. He is an animal rights activist, and I really am proud to have him on the show. So a bunch of ones from Mr. Gold. Let's get back into Lane Myers.
needs money,
Hey, Gloria, good seeing you, man.
and
Hey, Kevin, good seeing you,
I
sir.
don't know. I'm trying to figure out myself now. Because I swear I watched a video where it said, let's see.
He does pretty cool videos. I'm not going to lie. It's just the unhinged craziness and personal.
Where's that video where it said like, hey,
Wild.
4 charges. It's the reason that I can't, I had kids coming and shit like that. Oh, video. What is going on? What is his videos like disappear or something? It was a video that we watched in we reviewed it. We did a review of the video about a week or two ago, and it was like his story, like the 4 charges, and I was like, nah, man, you can't walk through the parking lot and shit.
Do they have to establish a physical?
Man, let me check the chat. Hold on. The chat usually know. So what, does he put videos up and then make them disappear or something? Like where's the video? Let me check the chat. Let me check this chat here. Hey chat, let me turn the chat on. Where's that video? What's it called? How do I find it? The one where he said, oh, 4 charges. This is why I can't. I got kids coming and shit. Oh, alive? No, it was his video. It said like, it said like, oh, different channels. Okay, let me check. I can't even keep track of this shit. Multiple personalities. Oh, so I'm just Lane Meyer. I feel like his videos disappeared. Where's the video where the guy came over to his house to confront him and he sent his wife out, his girlfriend? Special agents. Where's the video? It was like 4 cops. Lawsuit incoming. Who's he suing here?
What's up, Meemaw69? Good seeing you.
What is happening? I guess I got to go to my own video.
Do they have to establish a physical barrier
Stop,
because
I
they
can't hear his
don't
voice.
technically have?
But oh yeah, it's this video. All right, watch. And guess what? Yeah, here's the one where he like went into the police station and shit. Exactly. It's called Cops created a monster. The true story of Christopher Ruff.
Oh, here we go. This will be interesting.
Cops created a monster. The true story. Cops created. It's all their fault. How do I? I'm just not understanding if I'm just like not
Man,
using
those glasses
YouTube right.
are something else. Jeez.
Am I blocked from seeing it or something? Cops
Hey, Brandy.
created a monster. Direct. Oh, Christopher Ruff. Christopher Dane Ruff. Oh, here it is. It's on the DirectD channel. Okay.
These are
Make sure. Make sure here.
Mr. Gold.
Let's see.
Love that name,
Verify
Mr.
some shit
Gold.
real quick.
Reminds me of a James Bond movie. Mr. Gold, the man with the golden gun.
Let's see.
I love those shades. They protect you from the blue light, too, from the computer monitor.
Okay.
Lane's just a cool dude, man.
Cops created a monster. The story of.
How can you not like this guy? I don't get it, man.
Yep, it's definitely the same DirectD channel as his. All right.
Give me a bunch of ones for Big Lane. Big L in the sky.
Okay. So it's definitely his video. I wanted to make sure that it was actually it wasn't like an AI clone of him or something. I don't want to misspeak and have the legal team come after me. Let's see. Yep, that looks like him, quacks like him, flies like yep, looks like him going into these sidewalk, police station, yep, Mesa library, yep, walking through the parking lot, yelling at a cop who was just walking away. I've done it on public property. Let's see. So yeah. And then at the VIN, he says, all right, make sure this is
By the Superior Court in Maricopa County. Without any reason, I was not set any chance to
Let's review this for educational purposes.
speak for myself on my appeals. I just submitted it and got a response that said denied. Having no money for a lawyer, no idea how to proceed, and another kid about to be born, I had choices to make. Also, a few months prior to the start of these trials, my family and I had purchased a property outside of Maricopa County that needed development, and I didn't think it was possible to maintain court dates while taking care of my new family and property.
Well, how does everybody else do it?
But to put my court cases.
How does everybody else take? How about does everybody else have court cases, a family, and property? Nobody else in history has ever faced that dilemma.
Off and focus on my family, which ultimately resulted in warrants for my arrest that are still active as of today. Without giving away too many details, though, I'll leave you with this. Things are in the works to take care of the warrants, and we will see what happens next. Thanks for watching. Part 2 is going to continue.
Yep, things are in the works. You're going to run your fat lips so much that you're going to force yourself to either have to show up for court or watch this.
Just really quickly, I don't know what the YouTube guidelines are, but I know in one of his videos, it looked like he had a firearm on a table. And if he's a convicted felon, I'm pretty sure he's not allowed to have firearms. And I am concerned that the threatening tone that he's used against Lane and just his demeanor in general, I don't know. It seems like a pretty scary guy. What do you guys think? Pretty scary dude. Pretty abusive and scary, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Watch this. In their own words. This should be one of those VH1 things, in their own words. in their own words.
Do they have to establish a
VH1.
physical barrier? Because
I know this is fake / real, but
Gotcha, SWE.
bro, he says that he's saying that he has Christopher Ruff, because that's why I need to talk to Bao.
SW Observer says that it was not a real gun, but to me it looked like a real gun. I mean, if I was a parole or a probation officer, I definitely would consider that to be a weapon and would want to do a warrantless search to investigate what type of weapon that really was. What do you guys think?
Because I want to make sure that I know the story of what happened with Bao. What happened with Bao? Get Bao out. Okay. Let's see. I haven't been watching the chat. Now I'm looking at the chat.
Yeah, Susie, kind of, but more than anything, just kind of a low life, like a really disrespectful,
I'm looking at the
not
chat. I'm
not
trying
a
to get
good
this
person.
information. All right. Does anybody know what Bao did? That's what I want to figure out. What did Bao do? What's the drama? Give me the drama, all of it. Fill the chat with drama. What did Bao do to alleged? What are the allegations? Because he doesn't. You notice he doesn't say allegedly. You could tell the quality of his legal work when he's accusing somebody of something without using the word allegedly. But anyways, what did Chat GPT get Chris? You know who's going to get Chris Ruff picked up for his warrants? Chat GPT. Check this out, right? So Bao Nguyen
It's win, not no win.
allegedly
Win.
without authorization reproduced and publicly performed Christopher Ruff's LLC copyrighted work via YouTube.
So in
You
other
want to
words,
see the words that'll take Chris Ruff down?
a protected
Plaintiff's
activity,
copyrighted work via YouTube.
a protected activity of replaying a
So
video.
what Chris Ruff is telling us is
Fair use. If you
when
sued
the
me for
human
that,
being Christopher Dane Ruff, born in 1989, appears on.
so guys, check it out. If he sued me for that, I would hire the most expensive and best lawyer in Arizona, and I would get an award of attorney's fees against this guy, and I would put a lien against all of his property. I'd get everything that this guy owns. Just based on looking at this right now, if somebody makes a reproduction of like your YouTube video and it's fair use, and it's not convincingly similar that he's endorsing you, right? That's the idea. The idea is like if you're trying to say this person's endorsing me or whatever, but if you're doing it in a parody, making fun of him, it's protected. If you're trying to do like a lawyer breakdown video, it's protected. And so, I've dealt with yahoos like this in the past, and based on what I'm seeing right now, what it looks like is a case of fair use. So if I was this Bach, Win, whatever his name is, I would just hire the very best lawyer there is and get a huge judgment of attorney's fees and then start attaching everything that this guy owns. This guy's playing a very dangerous game by suing people that he doesn't like. And then it looks like Chat GPT. This does not look like a professionally drafted complaint. Let's keep going.
This when because remember he's in a Connex shed up in northern Arizona in Apache County, 30 minutes from Snowflake. How can he come to Tucson? It's like, well, if you live 4 and 5 hours away and your LLC is registered in Tucson, that means that you have to file this in Tucson. Huh, interesting. Or that means, wait for it, anybody that wants to sue Christopher Ruff LLC, you file it in Tucson and he has to come to Tucson or he gets a default judgment. Now listen, don't take all this free legal advice and use it at once. But let me pontificate here for a second. So what are we looking at here? Is the allegation that Bao like did something on a live stream using DirectD's video or something? Because what did Bao do? Because I want to do it. Because I want to get one with my name on it. What did Bao do? What did Bao do? What did Bao do? Allegedly, what are these allegations?
And by the way, it is a little disconcerting that Direct Dildo appears to have brought a lawsuit on behalf of a corporation, right? As a non-attorney, because if you look at Roland versus California Men's Colony, 506 U.S. 194 20102 1993, most lower federal courts have consistently applied the same rule to corporations, and the rule 11 of the federal rules of civil procedure also imply that these types of pleadings must be signed by an attorney. So if I would move for summary judgment. First, I would demur, but I would immediately move for summary judgment. And I would also file a complaint with the Arizona Bar Association against this guy for practicing law without a license. Now, he may say that he has some kind of an exception. An exception applies to him because he's a corporate officer. But I've never seen a case where a corporate officer who's a non-attorney can represent a corporation like that. So it's just another thing for Lane to understand, that a little nuance that he hasn't mentioned yet. And I don't have time, obviously, to cover his whole video. So, hey, what's going on, Pro Se David? Hey, what's going on, team? Hey, delete laws, guys. Everybody give me a bunch of ones for Chili. Chili, we're breaking down a little bit about direct dildo, direct meth, and the harassment allegations against Lane Myers by direct meth. And we're talking about a federal lawsuit where it looks like direct, double whammy, direct drama, double drama, is representing himself pro se and acting as an attorney for a corporation apparently that he has. And hey, Chili, maybe you have some information about that. I'd like to hear more, because this is the guy that, based on my understanding, this double dildo guy doesn't like you. He doesn't like me. He was attacking me all over YouTube for coming to your aid and visiting you in prison when you were falsely imprisoned. And so naturally, I don't like anyone who thinks that lawfare is appropriate. If someone's falsely arrested, I don't care if they're Lucifer. I don't care if it's direct meth. If he's falsely arrested, I'll be the first guy to come to his aid and try to help him, because I believe that the justice system needs to be blind. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. As much as I don't like the guy, I don't ever wish ill will against him, and I don't wish that the legal system be used against him in a way that would deprive him of his rights, because that would open the door for the legal system to be used as a weapon and a sword against people's rights. And I want the legal system to be able to act as a shield to protect people's rights. But let's keep listening. Let's see what Lane's got to say.
What is it that got Bao sued allegedly? Like what? What is it? I'm trying to read the chat. Where?
Right on, Chili.
Bao lives in a van down by the river. I've done that. What's up?
Yeah. I slept on park benches, man. Whatever it takes to survive, right,
Bao
guys?
was reviewing a DirectD video, and all right. And was that the one that he struck under that he like put it as it? Because apparently Chris Ruff does all his striking of YouTube stuff through Twitter or X or whatever you call it. And I got an email the other day that made it seem like I gave Bao a privacy strike. So because Concerned Citizen was running my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, you know, and they report it through there. I'm gonna find out right now. I'm waiting on the records from X to find out if somebody illegitimately used my X account to report Bao's video. We're gonna investigate that. That's an investigation that's active right now. We're gonna see if anybody did anything with my X account that Concerned Citizen started. I don't know until I see the documents, but I'll have those soon. And so, because I got an email the other day that made it seem like I gave Bao a complaint, and I know how children work. So let's figure this out. So Bao, like Bao, like what? Chris complained on my live stream too, but it didn't work. It didn't get taken down. I bet you if I check my email right now, he's probably already given one on this. Let's see, or one of his, the DirectD fan club. Nope, not yet. Slacking. So what? Bao made a video and it got taken down, and now Chris is gonna sue him. I mean, Chris Ruff LLC. You got to make sure you understand here. Yeah, I'm trying to talk to Bao.
Me a bunch
I mean,
of
first we gotta
guys.
understand that this is not a real lawsuit.
Hey, I think this is the longest I've ever seen you on my channel, Chili. Everybody, give me a bunch of ones for Chili for sticking around. I'm just trying to like listen into what Lane's got to say and pipe in with what I know from being a lawyer about what's going on here. I take exception to people trying to sue people who are engaged in fair use. I mean, if I'm sharing your content that you created on the internet and I'm using it for educational purposes or for purposes of a parody, and you try and sue me, I'm going to do everything that I can to win that case and bleed you dry. That would definitely be the way I handle that case.
Okay, let's just clarify. This is not a real lawsuit. If it was, you would have filed it with the stamp from the clerk. But let's break it down. I really wish we knew what he's alleged to do, because whatever Bao did that he thinks he can sue him for, I want to do it.
We need to get a copy of the complaint. But to me, just by reading it, it looks like he just played one of his videos and the guy doesn't like him. And based on the way that he talks about Chili DeCastro, I would imagine that the guy just is a very vengeful, spiteful individual. And based upon the video I watched of the Denver Metro, where he was flashing a light at the cop, and he let Denver Metro get the ticket and didn't stand tall, that tells me a lot about his character. Give me a bunch of ones.
Bao restreamed him. How is that? He just restreamed it?
Thanks, Brandy. Appreciate it. Sure to double tap that screen and hit that like and subscribe button. So, guys, I'm going to go out to the.
I don't got to say I'm not giving legal advice because I'm not a lawyer.
That's right.
In the court's eyes, I'm a lawyer in the common man.
Yeah,
the common
I agree.
law.
I agree. I agree with him. I think he's really good.
I can say.
I think the guy's a genius.
I can say things about the law and not
yeah,
be construed as legal advice. Anybody can. It's when you take money, first of all. It's a disclaimer before you receive funds.
Yeah.
But here we go. Let's see. So it seems like he was like did something.
So just really quick, guys. I'm going to try to keep going as long as I can, but I have an appointment at the gun range with a couple of my buddies, a couple of my Marine buddies. One of them's got a fully automatic FF firearms permit, so we're going to go out and shoot off an M60, and I agreed to pay for the ammo, so we're going to have some fun today. I'll see if I can get you guys some video to share with you on one of my shows later. But let's keep going, man. Yeah, I'm going to do some shoot house. And so CQB, close quarter battle, shoot house, and unfortunately, because my back's jacked up, normally we also do some judo and some ground fighting and kind of mix it up with fake firearms, just so we're sort of representing what it would be like if someone broke in your house. But today it's just going to be machine guns, so I'm going to have some fun. But I'll try to keep this thing going as long as I can. All right, here we go.
Okay. Just restream DD's videos in the. Oh, I mean, he already tried that 5-hour video I made about.
That was wild.
He struck all of them, but YouTube said it's not. So have a nice day.
Yeah, that's right. It's fair use.
He doesn't he put 4 strikes on me in 2 days, and then he took. But just to prove a point,
basically, it's called malicious prosecution if it was a federal case, but civil courts have a very similar thing, and he could be declared a vexatious litigant if he keeps doing it. Like if I was Lane Myers and this guy and he sues Lane, I would do my best to have him declared vexatious. I'd be filing state bar complaints that he's acting as an attorney representing a corporation without a law license. I would be going nuts on this guy. And I would definitely be getting a judgment with a huge award. I would get this thing blown out so fast it would make your head spin.
So he had my video from yesterday taken down. Which part hurt his feelings?
There's 30 members of the public and both parties to exhibit the same.
Look at
level
her
of
cheeks
respect
red, sweating.
Courtroom decorum.
That's what women do when they get her. Look me in the eyes. Oh yeah, ended. What part?
Jeez.
What part did bothered you? He said 19 minutes. Interesting.
I think so too, Kevin.
Huh.
Yeah. Smart dude.
Where's the direct D? I don't see nothing about direct D in this entire video. Oh. It must have been this Ali Madikani. Hey, he must have got offended by Ali Madikani. Was he mad I gave out my own phone number too many times? Like what? Watch this though. Give me a second. Let's see. How do I mute this? All right, there we go. Give me a second.
Mr. Cool with the Terminator glasses. Yeah, I remember when I first went on Lane's channel and I was talking, and then Double Dildo showed up, and within seconds I was banned from the channel. And I noticed that he had like some kind of a super administrator thing, and then Lane said in one.
So I'm watching the video at the exact second that it got reported. It's in the middle of my court hearing.
Wow.
With the judge. How did I commit a privacy violation in the hearing with the judge?
Thanks, Kevin.
Lucas Stacker has raised a hand. Pat Hannah's laughing. Fucking about fell out of her chair and spit her water out. Sly Shy's watching. 62 others are watching. Craig Clark's holding up a sign that says free tyranny. Liberty Troll's raising his hand. Huh. I'm not seeing how we violated YouTube's guidelines live on my court date in the middle of a hearing in New Mexico. Interesting. All right, Mr. Myers, that's enough, Mr. Myers. All right, that's Mr. Myers, that's enough. You stop being rude. Stop being rude. Okay, I mean, what? I was rude to the judge, so he took it down? I thought he punks judges for fun. That's hilarious. Fucking hilarious. So anyways, let's get to the point. Let's roll a bunch of joint and let the radio roll. You don't know where it's few. All right, ice, ice, baby. All right, so let's use this information we've gathered and let's come to our legal conclusion.
There you go.
All right. He's not a celebrity, he claims, right?
I would say that he is.
But watch. Okay.
Under the law, I'd say that he is.
So he's not a all right, so he claims that allegedly Bao used his copyrighted work.
So
now remember,
doesn't look like defamation.
This timestamp of this video, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do, turn on your phone, record, do whatever. Because right here, live on his own channel, Christopher Dane Ruff, born 12 of 89, has never, ever admitted this before, right? But here he is, in writing, admitted it, in a threat, in a legal filing. So listen, what Christopher Dane Ruff, the person, the human being that lives and breathes, smokes cigarettes, and yells into the microphone, wants us to believe. He wants us to believe that every single thing you see and hear, don't believe it. Here's why. Because everything you see and hear is actually Christopher Ruff LLC, okay? It's not actually Christopher Dane Ruff, okay? Remember that. His own words. So in Christopher Dane Ruff own words, okay, he's admitting in a legal document, real or imagined, that that what we see and hear is not actually Christopher Dane Ruff that smokes new. It's actually Christopher Ruff LLC. Okay. So what does that tell us? Okay. What does that tell us? Look, so that means that Christopher Dane Ruff.
Interesting. I see where you're going with this. Pretty smart, Dane.
Actually,
pretty smart, Lane. Yeah. I think I see where he's going.
Actually,
dude, this is really genius, actually.
Not real.
Right.
Let me zoom in a little bit more.
It's an interesting legal argument. I don't know.
Anything you see or hear on YouTube
isn't really him, it's his corporation.
Is actually Christopher Ruff LLC.
Very, very interesting.
Now remember this, because this is a legal video. This isn't a make fun of DirectD video. This is how to take action against the person who yells into the microphone on the DirectD and Christopher Ruff channel.
And if you sue his corporation, he has to hire a lawyer.
Unless you've actually met Christopher Dane Ruff and these allegations you have against him took place in the sphere of human interaction, then your legal claims are against anything that you believe and allege occurred on the DirectD or Christopher Ruff channel.
Yeah.
Well, until now, you all thought you had to sue Christopher Dane Ruff. No. See, on his own channel, Christopher Dane Ruff said, listen, when I'm on the DirectD or the Christopher Ruff YouTube channel, I'm actually not Christopher Dane Ruff. I'm Christopher Ruff LLC. In all my work and public performance, okay, my copyrighted work. He's claiming Bao did about all. He's saying that, hey, Bao didn't actually use Christopher Dane Ruff's work, because Christopher Dane Ruff doesn't appear on YouTube. Christopher Ruff LLC
Makes
appears
sense.
on YouTube.
Interesting
Okay.
argument. Interesting.
So Christopher Ruff LLC is saying everything you see on the Direct D and the Christopher Ruff channel is commercial property owned by Christopher Ruff LLC. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not. See, most people, most legal scholars, so most legal scholars, right? Okay. Most legal scholars, right? Most officers of the court, most legal geniuses, but apparently they haven't told ChatGPT this is how it works yet. Good thing, because ChatGPT, hey, you know what happens when you rely on ChatGPT as your lawyer?
You lose every
See,
time.
most people, well, I would say 99 out of 100, probably 999 out of 1,000, probably 9,999 out of 10,000.
Yep.
Probably 99,999 out of 100,000. Probably 999,999 people out of a million. Probably 999,999,000 people out of a billion. Probably, what is the Earth's current population as we speak? Because I know somebody could be born as we speak, but let's see. Earth's current population. What is the current population? Around 8.2 billion. So 8,199,999 people of the 8.2 billion people on this planet, you know what they would do? This is what you know what I'm saying? We're into the 8 billions would, and we got the one that wouldn't. See, most people, all people, other than, but remember, he's not actually a person. It's not actually a person. It's a intellectual. Don't confuse the word intellectual with intelligence either. Everybody's being harassed by, intellectual property, not a human. So however, the 8.199999999 billion people on this planet, other than the person who plays the character of Christopher Ruff LLC on the internet, they created LLC and they put all their shit in that, and then the LLC follows the law, and then they, as the private person, are protected from the acts they do. See, most people, all people, 8.19999 billion people would not create an LLC and then use that as the entity to commit the alleged. Come on, bro. No. What you do is you put everything in the LLC, and then the things you do as Christopher Dane Ruff are safe.
That's right.
But what you've now admitted to the whole world, sir,
the corporate asset.
you have the right to remain silent at any time. But what you've now told the whole world,
is that you can pierce the corporate veil now, because he's admitted that the corporation is actually the liable party. Very interesting.
Believe what you see. That's not Christopher Dane Ruff. That's not Christopher Dane Ruff, the person whose personal is protected by the LLC. No, that's the LLC doing it. Hey, don't come after me. I'm just Christopher Dane Ruff in a shed.
That's wild.
Go after the LLC. The LLC is the one doing that to everybody.
Very wild. This is great. You're right, Gloria. The guy's a
most,
total jerk.
again, 8.19999999999 people created LLC to avoid liability.
That's right.
Not to create liability.
That's right.
Hey, let me create this company
Bam.
and then put this channel with 300,000 subscribers under it.
I got to tell you guys, I am impressed with Lane. He really, I know he's unorthodox, but damn, I mean, this is the kind of guy I'd like to have at my firm. I mean, he could come up with creative legal arguments where we could absolutely decimate our opponent. If I was Double Dildo or Direct Meth or whatever you guys want to call him, I would not want to mess with this guy. I think that he bit off way more than he can chew. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree.
You're declaring a legal entity, and then let me use that legal entity to then go after people's quote unquote work in their LLC, because then let's have this commercial property wars.
Yep.
Oh, see what Chat GP didn't tell you, Christopher Dane Ruff, is that if you want to be Christopher Ruff LLC on YouTube, that means the actions of Christopher Ruff LLC are representative of the company Christopher Ruff LLC. Christopher Ruff LLC, all you got to do is Google Christopher Ruff LLC. And that's where you have what?
And if you bring an action against Christopher Ruff LLC, I don't know. Look, I've been wrong before. I was wrong about Lane being able to record in court. So I never give like absolutes in law, but can someone show me a section under the federal law that a non-attorney can represent a corporation? Because my thought is what's going to end up happening is if that LLC gets sued, or if this Win guy countersues the LLC, now Direct Meth is going to have to get a lawyer to represent the corporation, or institute bankruptcy proceedings against the corporation. I just don't see anywhere around it. There'll be all these judgments entered, and if there's any assets in the corporation, then those assets could be attached. So, these guys that brag and act like they know everything, I've always had a problem with them. And I just think that Lane's the exact opposite. He actually lays down his legal theories, and pretty much so far he's been right about everything. Let's do a little bit more, and then I got to get to the gun range, guys. But I just want to try to hear out what Lane's got to say. So far, I wasn't expecting this. That he's really coming up with some cogent arguments here. Let's go.
So what you're saying, Christopher Dane Ruff, is, hey, because I'm Lane Myers, right? I'm Lane Myers. I'm on this, right? I do have an LLC, but it depends on, there probably is a 1 in 8.199999999999999 billion. Come on, bro. The point is, bro, let me give you some this. I don't know if this is accounting or legal advice. You create an LLC to create protection.
A veil of protection.
Not drama.
That's right.
You put everything in the LLC, and then the LLC does everything by the book.
That's right.
And then Christopher Dane Ruff, it's like, well, I'm just, and then what are you going to do, man? I don't have anything. I don't have anything. But what you've now admitted, Christopher Dane Ruff, you put up a billboard on the front of your company, bro.
Public record.
You literally put up a billboard on the front of your company that says, "Fear not." Y'all have been thinking you had to come after Christopher Dane Ruff. Nope. Don't worry. Anything I've said or done on YouTube, Twitter, or any internet, anything is not actually Christopher Dane Ruff.
Right.
It's actually Christopher Ruff LLC.
Very interesting.
So the actions of Christopher Ruff of Christopher Dane Ruff can be attributed to Christopher Ruff LLC, which means that
there is no corporate veil.
Do you hear yourself? Did Chat GPT, Chris? Because I heard Chat GPT learns from its owner. Well, that would explain everything, Chris. Chris, that would explain why 8.1 billion people, 1.99999999999 billion people of us in a world of 8.2 billion would put everything in their LLC and then keep their LLC cool, calm, and collected, right? You're creating a legal entity, bro. Are you fucking stupid? So what you're saying is everything you've said or done on your channels is is representative of your legal entity, Christopher Ruff LLC, nobody needs to find you in the shed to serve you, Chris. Google Christopher Ruff LLC. I'm not going to show it right here, but I'll give people a few minutes. Don't put it in the chat. Just Google it. Go ahead and Google Christopher Ruff LLC. Okay, because remember, Christopher Ruff LLC and buying through its undersigned pro se representative, Christopher Dane Ruff, right? So remember, everything you've seen on YouTube, Twitter, that was Christopher Dane Ruff playing the character of Chris. See, most people like Lane Myers plays Mike Oxong. Mike Oxong's not an LLC, okay? He's a joke. See, Chris, see what would it be is how that work would be is you would talk your shit on YouTube as Christopher Dane Ruff and have all your shit. But Chris, I know you're so confused, but you got it backwards. 8.1 million billion 920 pill. The people that have been born since I started explaining this would even agree. You don't start an LLC and then use your LLC to go after other people's work, because then that means they're suing your LLC. And if your work is your LLC, ask Alex Jones how that works.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Yep.
Christopher Ruff LLC owns the DirectD channel. So all I got to do is sue DirectD LLC. And if he doesn't have any money, I can take ownership of the DirectD channel.
Boom. Exactly.
300,000 subscribers
That's
immediately.
Right. That's right.
Change the name. And then now I have a channel with 300,000 subscribers.
Absolutely could do
that's
that.
monetized. Delete all the old videos. Put up videos of puppies kissing.
Dude, I cannot believe this. Look, guys, Lane Myers is a genius, and those theories are sound theories. I am absolutely blown away. If this was California or Texas and I had this guy in my legal team, I think I'd already be retired. No joke. If Lane could just learn, the how to behave in court better with the proper court decorum and not swear and stuff, I think that he could easily be one of the top lawyers in the country, like one of probably the top attorneys in the United States. No joke. I was trained by multi-billionaire attorneys, and I've worked for some of the best trial lawyers in the world, and they all have their quirks, kind of like Elaine. But I've never seen anything like this. I mean, this guy has no formal legal training. And what I just heard here right now, so I'm going to stop this at 3:05. I'm going to stop this at 3:05 and we'll come back. Let me write this down. And Myers 3:05. I'm going to cover this some more. That was absolutely genius. What he's saying is, if he can get a defamation claim or some kind of a big claim against Direct Meth, he probably would be in a position where he could actually, like what happened to Alex Jones, or maybe even this Wynn guy. This Wynn guy could argue that it's a malicious claim and file a counterclaim and then try to seize the assets of that corporation and end up owning that channel. So this is really unbelievable. I mean, this is stuff this is high level stuff, high level stuff. So give me a bunch of ones for Lane Myers. I would be very, very scared to go up against this guy, even though he's not a lawyer. I think that he is really on the money here. I think so far, about 99% of the times I've seen it. Yeah, Chevy, I'm just going to go to the gun range with a couple of my buddies, combat vets from the Marine Corps. One of them's got a federal firearms permit. He's got a pig, an M60. And we're going to go put some 7.62 hate down range. We're going to get about 20,000 rounds of 7.62 and just go out there and pop them off and have some fun. And we'll do a little bit of CQB training as well. We got a shoot house. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to do my best because my back's jacked up. So I may not do a whole lot of CQB, but I have no problem being in the prone position and getting on that pig and put some rounds down range. So guys, I really appreciate you coming to the channel today. And I appreciate all the super chats, and I appreciate all the memberships and all you guys' prayers as I've been going through this herniated disc issue. And I'm doing my best to start doing the shows more. Today, obviously, wasn't a big show. I think the most people we've had in here today is about 50. So I can tell I've lost some of my audience. I'm used to having at least 400 or 500 people in here, but hopefully we can build it back up in time. And hey, thanks, SWE. SWE is a member for 9 months. I appreciate that. Jölskede, my friend, my Swedish buddy. I'm a Swede myself, Scandinavian. My mom's actually Norwegian, a little bit of German, a little bit of Scottish, but my dad's 100% Swede. And I identify as a Swede, just like men that wear dresses identify as women, right? I identify as a Swede. Yeah, sure, you betcha. So, Justin Knighton, do I need a new buddy? That's a good question. I normally only do CQB and stuff like that with combat vets or people with military training. But yeah, if you were in the military and you've done some combat or something, we could have you out. It's just that I need to make sure whoever we're out at the range with has a similar level of weapons competency, right? So I got a Navy SEAL buddy of mine we shoot with, and other than that, it's going to be Marines, and that's kind of the way we roll. But yeah, man, I'm always down. I have no problem like you and me one-on-one going to an indoor range and just doing some shooting. But I would definitely want to at least do about a good half hour or so of what I expect in terms of safety and muzzle. Make sure muzzle discipline, right? I want to make sure that barrel is always pointed down range. And I want to make sure you know how to clear a jam, tap roll rack, stovepipes, and the different types of weapons conditions. So, you don't, if a round gets stuck in the chamber, how you deal with it if it kicks off. So just little things like that. But yeah, man, I'm down. I love it, man. You got to always stay sharp with your weapon. And by the way, yeah, my everyday carry right now is VP9. Because a lot of people ask me Heckler and Koch or Koch VP9. And then my car gun is going to be my Terran Tactical Custom Glock 21 with graphite grips. And I always try to carry at least 500 rounds with me at all times. And then, for the home, I got an S&W 500 for the master bedroom, just in case a bear comes in. And of course, always have an AR, at least in every other room. You always want to have an AR. Your rifle should always be your go-to. And then your handgun is always going to be your backup. So that's the way I do it. And I'm not really a big proponent of shotguns unless I'm trying to blow a lock off of a door. I just think that they're, not really real. I'm so highly trained with an M16 or an M4 that I don't really need to worry about using a shotgun. All right. So guys, I will see you guys soon. Oh, right on, Susie. Well, Susie, I used to live in Motherwell, Scotland, and I know how to talk a wee bit of Scottish, yeah. And how you are? And I love drinking the iron brew because it's made from steel girders. Iron brew, mate. All right, Jimmy. So Sin City Giggles, Jody Shiloh, thanks for joining me. Justin Knighton, that's cool. Yeah, shotguns are cool, but I just use them to blow locks off of doors, to get into a secured door. Other than that, it's always going to be a rifle is your go-to, an AR or an M16. And then you're always going to have your backup is your pistol is going to be a backup weapon. But obviously, like when you're out in public, your EDC, your everyday carry can't be a rifle, right? So if I'm in concealed carry trajectory, I'm going to be rocking a VP9 probably with some hollow points. And then sometimes a Heckler and Koch 380 auto for if I'm wearing a suit and I don't want to have a big bulge sticking out. But so if you guys ever want to come and take a concealed carry class, my buddy, he was a former MARSOC Marine. He does them, got a Purple Heart, pretty cool guy. And come on out to Nevada and we can do some CCW for you. I always like getting trained by military guys with combat because he teaches you a lot of other cool stuff that you won't learn from another CCW instructor. Thank you, Sin City. Yeah, it's a great book. Yeah, for those of you guys who want to learn about how to become a lawyer with no law degree or undergrad, you can go to my website, my YouTube channel, and I have a book called My Journey to Becoming a Practicing Lawyer with No Law Degree or Undergrad. And a lot of people may or may not know I became a lawyer on the law study program in California. It's the same program that Kim Kardashian is on. And I just take you on my journey of how I did it, but I also cover some of the other states that offer law study programs so you can get your bar card in a couple of the other states. And I just talk about how I did it. And I try to inspire people who maybe down on their luck or don't have tons of money or don't want to take out student loans. And what happened is so I passed the baby bar, contracts, torts, and criminal law, which is when I took it was like a 10% pass rate. And then, so I was invited to a law school, and they waived my first year classes as well as my LSAT because I'd already passed the baby bar. And so, but ultimately, so I was a practicing attorney who'd already passed the real bar exam, and I earned my JD. So when I graduated from University of West Los Angeles School of Law, when I was on the podium up there, they announced me as Michael Eline Esquire. So I'm the first guy in the history of that law school, or any law school that I'm aware of in the state of California, to graduate from a law school already a licensed barred practicing attorney, making a considerable sum every month when I graduated from that law school. So I was able to get a JD, and I got to tell you guys, I wouldn't waste my time in law school. The way I learned was trying cases, doing depositions, and going to court with trained lawyers and clerking, externing for the California Court of Appeal. And so the book that I have, it's $19.99. You can go to my YouTube channel and I take you on my journey. Now it is a digital version. It's not the softcover paper version. I don't have that available. That's going to cost more money, and there'll be shipping and handling associated with that. But if you want to learn about how to become a lawyer with no law degree or undergrad, you can pick up a copy of my book. Again, the digital version of this book, by going to my YouTube channel, clicking on the description, and then just opening it up. There's a PayPal link, and you can purchase a copy of it through PayPal. So hopefully you guys had a good time today. Got to get out to the gun range. Gloria Ad, thank you. Mia Stero, good seeing you, ma'am. Sin City, always thank you so much. Just Willie, Justin Knighton, Susie Cleopatra, and Rick's Unofficial Kennel, thanks for coming out. Thank you, Mr. Gold, for showing up today. Pro Se David, Swedish Observer, as always, thank you. Jody Shiloh, Kevin Brianarski, always, man, love having you guys. Chevy, give me a bunch of ones for Chevy. Chevy, I hope your health is doing okay, buddy. We're always praying for you over here at Team MPE. Make sure to form parallel systems, homeschool your kids, homestead. Get your kids out of that Marxist, communist public school system. Teach your kids how to form parallel systems, grow their own food, collect your own rainwater, stay as far away from the Marxist leftist state as you can. Help us abolish all these administrative agencies and return America back to the people. How does that sound? All right, guys. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Semper Fi, do or die. Hurrah.